Ariel, thank you so much for your time tonight. So would you mind tell us who you are, where do you come from, and what is your major?
Hi again, I'm Ariel, and then I came from Hong Kong, China, and then I have been here for like over 15 years already. Immigrated to United States, and then my background is actually me and she go to the same college. We went to East Los Angeles College. We studied architecture together. We happened to go to the same university, which is Sci Art, and we study architecture together. And at the end, there's a point that we work in the same firm together as well in our TKO.
Yeah, so that was really funny. Thank you for your reminding me, because when I wow, yeah, actually when we graduated, I went to this company RTKL, and also few months later I saw you in the office. I was so surprised, and then, but that's kind of interesting. I believe that we never have a chance to work on any single project in both school and in my office. So hopefully in the future we'll have a different conversation about projects. So you might also tell us a little bit more why you want to study architecture.
Why do I want to study architecture? Well, at the beginning I was just like growing up, I really want to study design, like any type of design. But then at the end, after I kind of like research and find out, I feel like architecture is like a combination of everything. So we pretty much learn about like, more like technical part and then the design part. So I feel like architecture is like a general big umbrella on top of just like designing. So that's why I choose this major. Also, like, I mean, come on, like being an architect sounds really cool.
That's really true, really true. I really enjoy my time as a real architect in the office, and I look at the floor plan. I do hand drawing, I do red line. That was really amazing in the office. But right now I also switched to my career a little bit. I'm doing the IT and AV technology architect. I'm still an architect, but it's just in a different vertical. So can you also share about how was your application process to get into the architecture school, and also what was your challenge when you doing your application?
So when I first came here, I was in high school in the state, and then after graduating from high school, I decided to go to college, which is East Los Angeles College. It's just like there's not much of a reason why I choose that college. It was just because it's close to where I live. And then pursuing architecture, I mean, like college, I didn't choose much, but then like for university, I selected really carefully. I actually went to like a lot of school, like at least like 10 school in the state. I even go to New York, I go to Rhode Island, I go to like Texas, like everywhere to just like look at school, graduation show, portfolio, etc. And then at the end, I found the best. Like at least I thought was the best is Sci Art, actually for near where I live as well. So and then I just like fall in love with architecture and then start pouring all-nighter, doing all the design work and all that. Yeah, pretty much it.
So search around different schools around the United States, and then you also went to Rhode Island. So I know that this is a really great design school in terms of all kind of design. Also East Coast for sure, there's a lot of great school as well. But can you tell me again why is Sci is the final destination you want to finish your education?
Well, it's just the atmosphere of the entire school. It's like because I mean, growing up, I'm more like a rebellion and like a wild card in the family or in school. Like, like in Hong Kong, it's always about like, oh, you have to get good grades. You know how like traditional Chinese education is, like the parents expect you to be like a lawyer, the best in the class and all that. But I'm always not that like kid when I grow up. So I feel like Sci also has the same like rebellion kind of feeling to me. Also, Sci Art stuff is like way futuristic, I would say, like in the architecture world. And then also like one thing I saw in SciArt is like every student, they have like a very strong motivation to be self-taught on anything, and self-learning as well.
Mm-hmm. So those characteristics from SciArt gave you the motivation you want to go apply to the school, and then also to learn architecture in this school. That's yeah, I have the same feeling too, because I believe that I only applied 2 schools. So one school is
I
SciArt for
only
sure.
apply one school.
Oh really? I thought that you applied at 10 different schools.
No, I went to visit, but I didn't apply for them. It's just like a one-time to go.
Yeah, because back then to my time, when you apply any school, you still need to provide letters, portfolio, and then all kind of stuff. And then, but I was very clear at that time. SciArt is the only place I want to go because I want to do something different, and then that's the starting point. Also, this is very close to my home, but I think this is not the main reason. I think that the quality of work, and then the process how SciArt they look at architecture to change the community. This is one of my motivation. I want to study in school. So can you also share a little bit more about the application process? So you went through to different schools you visit. So but when you decided to go to SciArt, how was the application process look like?
Application process. So different than other school, you just I don't even remember how to apply for other major. Like I think people like do like recommendation letter, and then they write essay about themselves, and then they got good grades, and then they transferred. But then like for like design major people, like we always rely on our portfolio. So I think we built like a pretty solid portfolio in ELAC, and then I still remember like my portfolio, I hand bind them, so it's kind of like a small book, and then I just submit that, and then with recommendation letter, I was doing okay grade in ELAC, and then like and then I just got in. It wasn't like I would say it wasn't quite a surprise that they accepted me, because I mean I didn't get accepted. Well, transferring is just you got accepted different grade. I mean you got into 2B, I got into 2A. I remember, and then start from there, and then I was like I was enjoying the whole school like all the way.
So when you transfer from your community college to SciArt, so is this any kind of transition you feel like it was complicated for you at that time?
Oh, well, it's very different. First of all, like in SciArt, people are, like everyone, your peer are very like intensively involved into design. At SciArt, everyone has like a huge table that we can work on models on. We can put our stuff there, and pretty much at nighttime, like people will sleep underneath the table sometimes. It's like a 24-hour school. Like, well, it's so hard to, if you haven't been through like architecture school, that how architecture school is. It's like 24-hour, 24/7. You're basically just like that like couple 4 years. It's like you gave up all your social life. Pretty much like any lifestyle you have, you just focus on like schoolwork, and then on the summertime you learn new program, you learn new technique, or you go to like do internship and stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah, I still remember I always stayed late in the school, and then but also because I was transfer student, so my skill set is not really aligned with the same year of the student. So like such as I do not have much Rhino 3D model experience. So when I first started, I started from the second semester 2B. So and then I actually 2B, and I have to spend a lot of time to catch up the software, because also when in my college everyone just do hand join, right? But in science, no one no one use any hand drawing. You never. I think that you may not see in the T-square as well on the table to do
even
the
a
design.
pencil, I think.
You know what, pencil steel, I think pencil steel is a major tool to do sketching. I sometimes still sketching, but this is a great transition for me too, because I have to pick up the tools. It's not only the tools, right? Because the tools you have to pick up the new design skill and technique to use the tools to produce your work. So this transition for me is kind of it's challenging. It was challenging, but at the end, I am able to manage it. Yeah, but the process is not that easy at all.
Yeah, that's that also like one thing why you remind me why I applied to SciArt, because I'm really bad at like hand drawing. Also, like I'm really bad at hand sketching. Like in college, we have all different type of classes. We do hand sketch, like we sketch. I mean, we draft the whole drawing out like using pencil, right? That's like one of the old like architectural technique, which when I go like overseas to like school, they are still using pencil to do their CAD work, which is like a computer design, architecture drawing work. So that part actually scares me. So I has to apply to like a school that really rely on like huge like program, computer software and all that. So that's why SciArt is like my best choice I have.
Got you. Yeah, I can share one secret with you as well. So my hand drawing, sketching skill also really bad.
Oh, I remember I see some good stuff from you.
Really?
You have to see mine. Let's compare next time.
Okay, so maybe next time we share together and to see which one have a better drawings. So I know that SciArt is a 5 years university, so 5-year school, so it's a professional architecture degree. So you went through plus your college, you went through 5 years training. So can you share what is the most difficult moment when you're in the school?
So I feel like there's some like technique that we pick up, like I mean SciArt, everybody self-taught and self-learned really quickly, because then for example, like we've been ranked like the top computer program school, like architecture wise, in the entire state, but then actually no one teaches how to use those programs. It's like we all learn from YouTube, from student. I think self-learning is like a big jump, like from college, or like from even like a very Asian kind of education background, because then like in Asia it's just pretty much they'll feed you whatever you need to learn. You just follow the syllabus, you follow the step of them, and then you kind of learn something. But then in SciArt, it doesn't care like whatever program you use, and as long as you get the final project done, right? So that's like a big jump. Like you have to learn how to survive, learn how to reach out to people, learn how to just like quickly jump on some program that you doesn't know, or some technique or some idea that you doesn't know, and then start working on it like hands-on. Another challenge will be well, of course, like second language is a big challenge. I mean, as a designer, it's really hard if you don't know how to present, which I'm really bad at public speaking. I think I overcome that like fear of like presentation. I think just like few years ago, it's actually after I start my own work and then my own studio and stuff. Before I still like a little bit like camera shy, pretty shy about presentation, don't know how to like kind of very efficiently tell people my ideas. But right now it's like adding more experience, I can work that out. But then you can imagine in SciArt, it was really hard. Like every presentation, like first of all, you don't have time to prepare it, because like everybody worked till the last minute. And then also like when you're speaking, it's very intense. You can imagine like in a SciArt presentation, or your instructor will be like sitting in front of you, and then other student will be like standing behind them, and then you have to start presenting your project, and then you only have something to help, like models or like very little stuff like drawings to help you to tell people your idea. So like in a presentation, every time it would get really on my nerves, and I start like mumbling or like I don't even know what I'm doing back then. Yeah. So second language, yeah. Also like language, like writing wise, I was really bad at writing too.
Yeah, I think this is a very typical challenge for more of the international students. Only you and also me as well. So I'm not really good at public presentations, but I because my work I have to do it, and then when I go through more training, it's help me do my presentation better. Also because the English is not my mother tongue, right, and not my first language. So to express the idea, I feel like that I cannot really express my true meaning or my thinking in written form. So hopefully I still try to overcome it and make it better and improve myself. Yeah, so you go through the training. So and then what is your final years look like in SIRE?
So in SIRE, the final year is pretty much 2 semesters, and then the last semester we have to prepare our biggest thesis. What does it look like? It looks like I didn't sleep at all. It looks like that I get sick very often, and then it looks like, I don't know, it's just complicated. It's like I really don't want to leave that school because it's all the energy, and then it's just all the people that you have been like together for like 24 hours for like years, and then now at some point that after this big project you have to, you know, I don't know, some people go home like back to their country, some people you know, find another job, go to another city. Like it's just complicated that year. Also like well, you have a lot of hope to like, you know, future stuff, and then you're excited at the same time. The final thesis was pretty scary because it's like a huge project. It would be like they will invite like really good architects. For example, like my final thesis, I have like Tom Ming in my presentation, which is like a star architect, like a big architect. And then it's just like, also like again, it's the second language barrier make the thesis idea going out harder, but then with the help of the instructor at the end, I mean my work, I mean I won't regret my thesis. I like it. Yeah.
Wow, you are so fortunate because you can present your work in front of a star architect. So that was amazing. How was the feeling about when you present in front of Tom Ming?
To be honest, I didn't do a really good job. It was just like that morning was a lot of hustle. Like the computer gone off. Like there's like 1,000 problems happened the minute before the presentation, so I didn't prepare much. My final thesis was about like material. I kind of like built a wall like out of different type of foam material, and then the foam, it's just like my idea is more evolving about materials. So I don't have like as much drawing as the other people. I only have like a piece of like kind of marshmallow like wall, and then I have a video, and then I mean, but then at the end after that presentation, it's like, you know how that feels. It's like, oh, finally I can get some sleep, and then we can have like a summer and all that. Oh, and at the same time, like the last year of SIRE, I start taking more like internship. So I actually start working at the firm that we used to work at, and then hoping that they will hire me after I graduated.
I see. So the transition from your school because to the actual work, because you already have the internship experience with the company, right? So and then after you graduate, so and then to make the transition to work with them as a design staff, that's a very natural transition. So when you started your work in an architect firm, so is this can you share with us what was the difference between the school and actual work in the office?
So it's actually a big, it actually another big transition too, because then like our school is very futuristic. Like it's very advanced, I would say. Like people always say that like whatever site I built, it's like it only happened in like 50 years later, like the student. So when I go back to like the normal world and then like more, you know, realistic kind of project, it's just like I don't know, it's just like a big hit that, oh fine, well now I have to care about like small details, like where those, you know, structure go, how this is possible with the budget, and then we have real client that, well, other than, you know, different than the instructor that who will like encourage you or like teach you something. It's just like they only ask you to do something, or like they critique you, or they have their own idea already. It's just so different. It's just like coming from like a 3D world into a real world kind of thing.
Got you. So yeah, I have the same feeling too. So when I first started in my team, so we do first of all, I do not have any experience. So in the office, I know that I know how to use Photoshop. That's for sure. After 5 years training, but the way how they talk, how they use the tools is quite different. And then at the end, the reason why I need to use the Photoshop because I need to create a transparent shape of the rectangle. And then
which the rendering and the 3D model might not be able to do what you want.
I know. So, and then also the communication.
It's like the downgrade of the software that we use from SciArt, actually.
I know. I cannot say it's a downgrade, but I feel like that the communication method is quite different because in the studio, I'm very used to just present the model, right? Present not necessarily the physical model, but the 3D model, and then I can spin around. I can also do floor plan, and then I look at the things in and out very easily because this is how we use the 3D objects and the drawings to communicate with the professor. And then also the professor is not an actual client, so the way he already understands architecture.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
but when I doing my work, I realized that they have to do block diagram.
But you have to like draw all the details of everything, or like you have to use diagram to present to them in order for like a non-designer clients to understand stuff. Yeah, that's a big challenge too.
Yeah, and then you have to draw the arrow to show, and then you should, and there's all kind of stuff to present the circulation. And then in school, right? So we're just showing the model, we show the animation, and then even though for the animation, when I talked to my boss, so she told me that more of the client, they cannot understand rendering, they cannot understand floor plan, but we have to work with this type of client to help them to develop the project. This kind of a communication challenge I never forget in the architect firm. But this is not the problem from the clients because they never went through the training, so they need to hire architect to help them to understand the problem. So I feel like that one of the challenge for me is I need to understand how to educate my client to understand their problem. That's a kind of fun process for me. Yeah. So so after you work for this company for a while, so I know that you make a very big decision. You want to establish your own business. Can you tell us about how come you have this type of this decision? You want to establish your business?
Well, there's a lot of reason why I leave, but by the time I start my own like a new business, I already have a lot of years of experience of doing freelancers. Because then after I came out of SciArt, even though I have like a full-time job, I start taking like different type of freelance job. It's just like I feel like architecture actually gives me some side effect of like being a workaholic. Like like if I can, you know, learn something or do something on the weekend, like I would rather do something than like just, you know, hang out and then you know, kind of like, yeah, it's just like I kind of like earn money everywhere by like also learning experience everywhere, like in that couple of years in the firm. So I have a full-time job, and then I have a lot of multiple like part-time jobs. Like for example, I've been doing like I do some branding for people. I even make like at some point I was like painting my friend's house to just earn like a quick like part-time money. And then also another big job for me is like I was an assistant for a wedding photographer as well. So at the end, all those skills kind of combine, and then I'd be able to live more like rely on like freelance job. And I designed, like maybe it's time for me to explore more. And then by that time I was just only thinking about like, let's explore for like a year or so, and then maybe go to another firm, get more work experience and all that. But actually the first year our company actually doing pretty well, and then afterward right now it's already 4 years. It's just like I mean I'm so glad that things went well. Yeah.
So interesting. So you want to explore something, you just want to step away a little bit, step out a little bit, and then try to see more, but end up you see more opportunity, and then you very naturally to moving forward to get more work. That's kind of good, so a lot of people, when they get stuck for a while, they want to explore different things, and then for you it's actually work well. So that's kind of very lucky for a lot of freelance designer. And then also when you establish your business, so I believe that you should there's a lot of challenges you went through. So can you share one or two with us? What's the most difficult moment when you're running your business?
Wow, there's a lot of difficult moments. Couple difficult moments I would say. More like I think doing design work is one thing. Doing like a business is another thing. Like there's a lot of things that you have to manage, like for example like your tax, your accountant. I mean those like small stuff, it would get to like you have to manage it as good as you can, and then for the business to run better. Also like I feel like time management is a pretty big thing. I'm not those student or like those person who will be on time all the time. But then luckily having your own client, you're just facing the client, that there is a lot of time that it wasn't like things doesn't have like a solid kind of deadline. It's like the deadline can always be pushed, but then at the same time it's like when you have to manage different projects, you just have to learn how to do it simultaneously. Also like because my company is more like a one-stop company for like restaurant business. We do branding, we do marketing, we do interior design, we do architecture. We help people like pull license and stuff. So at the end, it's like at the first couple of years, switching gear was pretty intensive for me. Yeah, it's like you have to do. I also do photo shoot too. So I have to do photo shoot at some point. Like one point I was on the photo program called Lightroom, and then another point I was in like a 3D program, or I was looking at like a architecture drawing. But actually at the end, be doing that like for a couple of years, I feel like right now it's like switching gear actually helped me take breaks between all the stuff. So I won't get too bored by doing only one stuff. So sometimes I can do like, I can do drawings, I can do architecture, I can draw a cat. Like some cat is an architecture drawing. And then I can take breaks like from different stuff. So that's how I enjoy it right now.
So you basically you're switching your tasks because you're multitasking, right? But when you're switching tasks, kind of give you the time to relieve your burden of certain things. That's kind of cool.
Also I found that like well, some people would say like, oh, you're not focusing on just one thing, you're not professional enough. But then I found that like learning multiple stuff is actually all it add together. It helps you leverage the technique or like experience that you have. So for example, like right now, I also own a cake shop business. So then I can stand on my point of view as a designer, and I can also try to like, you know, understand and then stand on the owner point of view of like a restaurant owner. So I think those techniques will help us to understand the client more, help the project more as well.
So the different type of experience is not only to give you time to slow down a little bit, also give you new perspective how to using different point of view to target your different problem. That's right. I mean that is a really good approach to running different type of project together. That's good. So also because you running your business, you to get the client is always a challenge. So how the clients found you, or how you found the client?
Well, right now it's all by word of mouth at the beginning, because then before I started the business, there is already like a couple years of freelancing work. So it's like we have a solid portfolio, and then right now it's still word of mouth. But then like after the pandemic, I mean, you can imagine how hard the pandemic kind of destroyed the whole restaurant industry. Pretty much the food industry is like that when it was pandemic. So after the pandemic, we start to like think about more like self-marketing, like maybe marketing our company. We cannot only rely on word of mouth anymore. So maybe this year we'll do more like multiple ads or like other stuff to help our company to like reach out to like a more public audience instead of like just the people in the same circle.
You already have few year experience. You accumulated a lot of different type of experience at work. So that's just the best time for you to be more actively to reach out to the client. Yeah. Okay. So this is part one. Thank you so much, everyone. So we're going to have a part two interview. Part two interview will more we call it showcase. So the idea is because everyone they went through the education in the United States, so they should have very different approach to target to their problems, and also you're from a best of the best architecture school, and also you have your actual experience. So the background, as you see, is actually I'm sitting in one of her design,